What's up, everyone? Back with episode 4 of the OOTP San Francisco Giants playthrough. Last time we wrapped up, it was the World Series. We lost in 5 games to the Los Angeles Angels. So now we head to the offseason. A lot of changes going to be underway. Let's just really quickly look at the salaries we have locked up in the future. So Rodon's off the books after the season. Longoria, we declined his team option, mostly because, we weren't really given much of a choice. He broke a bone in his elbow, so he's out for probably most of next season. Brandon Belt, he's going to be iffy. I don't think I'm going to bring him back. I know he's a lifelong Giants, a Giant, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's a smart actual decision for the front office to make, so Brandon Crawford, he has another year on his deal, one of the few guaranteed contracts here. Then we have Alex Wood. I'm fine paying him $12.5 million. DeSclafani, if he pitches like he did in the playoffs, I'm cool paying him $12 million. So then Alex Cobb also under contract, not as pretty of a contract, but he only has one more year guaranteed. We should be able to survive that. Jock Peterson's off the books. Tommy LaStella has one more year. We might look to trade that deal. Matt Boyd, who is a really nice pitcher for us this year, he's not looking for any crazy money. That's a possible guy we bring back. Flores is off the books, although he was really good, especially against lefties, so he could be a platoon guy we look to move. Yaz is still under contract. I said I might look to trade him, but man, he had an excellent season, so I don't think we can afford to move him right now, unless something crazy happens in free agency. Jake McGee had a team option. I actually accepted it. I didn't think there was any chance I would, but he was really fantastic for us this season, and I was thinking maybe I can get him back for cheaper, but honestly, $4.5 million, not going to break the bank. We have a lot of money coming off the books, so not too concerned about that. Kirk Casale, also a free agent. Austin Slater, he has two more years of team control before we got to do something with him. Dominic Leone and Jose Alvarez, also free agents, as well as Carlos Martinez and JD Martinez. So the guys what I'm really looking for, I'm going to very quickly go through this with you guys. So what do we have back? We have Joey Bart's back. We know that. Tyro Estrada is back as well. I guess he would technically be our second baseman right now. Did nothing else. LaStella is also back. Crawford's back. Heliot Ramos, he probably has one of those spots. Lamont Wade also going to be on the team next year as far as right now. Slater and Duggar also going to be here. So what can we do to upgrade this team in the offseason? Definitely need a first baseman and a DH. Now, do those come internally or externally? I'm not quite sure. We have a guy in Brett Auerbach who is really the perfect blend of utility guy who can come off the bench and basically a super utility guy. Play in the corner outfield, play at first base, catcher, can do it all. We have Patrick Bailey down in the minors. He's almost ready to come up to the majors. He actually might be my starting catcher next year if everything goes well. You look at the minor leagues for us. For next year, nothing really pops out at me. Luke Williams will be here, as far as I can tell. Hunter Bishop, really nice player, really ascended through the minors this season. So he could definitely make an impact. He finished the season very strong. Michael Gigliotti, I like him. A lot of speed, a lot of defense. Can hit a little bit, I'm sure. He's more of like a fifth outfielder type. Not too happy with him if he was my starting center fielder or something. But you look down a little bit farther, though, in the minors, we have some stuff coming. We have Marco Luciano, who will probably be a corner outfielder for me. He struggled a little bit in Double-A, but heated up at the end. He's going to start the year there again, and we'll reassess toward the middle of the season. Luis Matos, different story. This guy raked in Double-A. I'm gonna start him in AAA to start the year. I'll do all that stuff off camera though. He's I mean, he can make the major league team out of spring training if he's good enough. Quite frankly, righty, I like to see that. Our outfield's a little lefty heavy right now. That's why I say that. And then like there's some like interesting players. Like this guy's an all or nothing hitter pretty much. So yeah, nothing really going on there. I called up Kyle Harrison to Double-A to end the season, and he was very good in 3 starts. So, wow, they threw him 125 pitches. I don't know how that happened. Whatever. But he was really good, so he could make an impact on this team. In the pitching staff, we're gonna run a 5-man rotation, obviously. So I offered a contract to Carlos Rodon. We need an ace. He'll probably be the best guy on the market. I can't even view what the contract was. Okay, I can do this. So it was a 5-year, $120 million deal. That's $24 million a season. Brings him through his age 34 season. Personally, it's longer than I'd like to go with the starter, but we have a lot of money freed up. We need an ace. Carlos Rodon has already been here, knows what's going on. Didn't get hurt last year. Pitched 193 innings, and yeah, I offered him a big deal. So we'll see what happens with him. We'll have DeSclafani and Wood in there, and also let me get these guys off. Just clear those guys out. Then we'll also have Logan Webb in there as our 2. Or maybe he'll be the 1. I don't really know. It doesn't matter too much. Then we basically need a 5th starter. If Alex Cobb is going to miss 7 months, which will bring him November, that's going to be June to come back. Needs a rehab, probably July. You're looking at like the All-Star break probably for him. So we need a 5th starter. Cobb, he could be fine when he comes back, but there's a guy like Matt Boyd potentially a target for us. So yeah, I'm going to go through all this and figure out our roster construction, then meet you guys back at maybe awards or free agency. I'll see what happens and then decide from there, but we'll be back. So we are back. We're going to make, I think, our first trade of the offseason here. So let me break this down. I have too many outfielders right now. So Steven Duggar and Austin Slater, both are center fielders, I guess. Neither of them perfect players. But overall, I have to choose between one of these two to keep on this team. I mean, I don't want to allocate $4.8 million to 2 center fielders. I mean, I guess it's a good platoon, but these guys have value, and I think I should strike while the iron's hot here. So Duggar is projected to make $1.4 million this year, which isn't bad. But when you look at his projections, they're going to go, I mean, this is a low ball, so I don't know. I'm more comfortable with Austin Slater there, I think. So yeah, we have a trade lined up for Steven Duggar. Let me try to get to that really quick. It was with the Chicago White Sox, who would be sending us a prospect that I really liked. Where are the Chicago White Sox? There we go. So Brian Ramos, we got a lot of good offers. A lot of them were lower-level minors guys who they're hit or miss, and we're trying to capitalize on this little window we got. So Brian Ramos, our scout doesn't like him as much as the OSA does, but he's pretty far along. He's in Double-A. He's played there a full season. It wasn't bad. But I like this upside. It's like a slugger in the middle of the order because we really don't have that. So we'd be giving up Steven Duggar, who really good center fielder, but this batting profile, he's going to strike out 30% of the time. It's not sustainable for a full season. So we're also throwing in Abdiel Layer, who is a nice player. I could see why they like him. 24 years old. We're getting $100,000 cash with this. So our GM doesn't love it, but overall, I think this is a good trade for us. So Steven Duggar, thank you for your service, but we're going to move on, and we're going to see what's out there in free agency when it happens and roll with Austin Slater right now. So yeah, that opens up some possibilities for the team. So what I think might happen with this is Lamont Wade's still here. He might play some first base, DH, as from the against righties, and then wherever he doesn't play, we're gonna get either a DH or a first baseman, big slugger, to play. It doesn't really matter what side of the ball he hits, but then we're gonna get whatever that guy doesn't hit. We're gonna get a righty to platoon with Wade here. So all these guys will be starting every day. And yeah, we're basically going to have a platoon with Wade and someone else, and then have a big slugger fill the other spot. Maybe it's like a Jose Abreu type or something. I'm not really sure what's out there. We haven't gotten that far yet, but yeah, we have all these guys with qualifying offers potentially attached to them. So do I offer Belt the qualifying offer? I know this is cheesy because he actually got it in real life. He got it offered to him last year, and he took it. But they're letting me offer it again. I'm probably not going to offer it to him. How much is it? 19. I know in real life it's 19.4, but so it's 18.9. Just out of curiosity, sometimes it's a good way to check if this guy will accept the qualifying offer. So he probably won't. It's a big risk though, because if we get stuck with Belt on the qualifying offer, it really complicates things because we're limited with options of what we can do, and that's a big chunk of what the salaries we have lined up. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of money, basically. So we'd still have plenty of money left over. But yeah, I'll tentatively say yes, I'll offer it to him. Boyd, probably not. Casali, no. Flores, looking for a big deal, but he'd probably accept, so no. Leone, no. Longoria, no. But I'd like to keep him around, quite frankly. He was solid and good clubhouse guy. Peterson, absolutely not. Rodon will definitely get the QO, so. That brings us to JD Martinez, who could be that big slugger. I mean, he was excellent for us this year. Do we want to offer him a contract? Because 5 years can't happen. Maybe two at 20 I would do. Oh. Maybe 2 at 20. Maybe like a vesting option with like a low plate appearance. That's fine. We can keep that stuff. So he doesn't like that too much. He's freshly 35. He's already horrible on, but that limits what we can do at the DH spot. We might let him go to free agency and then play from there. I think it's probably our best course of action here. Should offer minor league contracts to the guys I like. Yeah, so that was the big trade. Getting rid of Steven Duggar. Moved on from him. And, yeah, Austin Slater's our center fielder as of now, full time. So a lot of moves still to be made, so we will be back with that. All right, what's up, everyone? We have another trade to announce. So Thairo Estrada had a really awesome season for us. Really good player. I really like him. I wish I could keep him around. But he's set to make $3.2 million in arbitration. 26 years old. I mean, the ratings are good. And, like, he has a high overall, I guess. But overall, his value is way higher than what I valued him at. That is in the trade market. So we packaged him along with Sean Roby here, who tore up AAA last year. But we really don't have a spot for him. Mason Black, who is a highly coveted pitcher on the market. He was fine pitching in rookie ball as a 22-year-old, almost a 23-year-old. This is definitely a reliever in the future, but not like anything I'm crazy keeping. And Carson Ragdale, who they thought very highly of, did not pitch well in high A last year as a 24-year-old. So take that as you will. And we're getting Gabriel Gonzalez back, who in the Mariners farm system, 18 years old, almost 19. He's already pretty far along for an 18-year-old in his ratings. Pretty decent outfield ratings. And Yeah, he did pretty well in rookie ball last year. He can easily slot into single A, number 80 prospect in baseball. So we're selling high on Estrada, who had a really nice year, to basically get like a top 80 prospect, probably undershooting it a little bit, only because he's young. This guy can easily be like a top 50 prospect next year or by the time the season opens. So I'm really excited about this deal. We're not really giving up too much else. Like, these are kind of spare parts, and we're getting like a really solid player in return, potentially. These prospects are volatile, but yeah, that's the deal. We're gonna complete that trade. It sucks. I would have loved to keep Estrada, but his value is too high to. It would have been like general managing malfeasance to not trade him. So yeah. So I have another trade to announce. I got this offer in the mail for a trade for Joe Barlow of the Texas Rangers. So they wanted a couple guys in return. I wound up. Oh, okay. Well, hold on. What's the fastest way to get to this screen? So I wound up adjusting the deal just a little bit. I guess it's gone now. Hold on. So I'll just remake the trade, I guess. So I don't see this guy. It looks like he's probably going to be a really good player. However, the eye and the home run power, this guy's going to bat for like an empty batting average kind of. So not really the type of player I like on my team. And these guys are replaceable. 24 years old. He really ripped up every level of the minors, but overall, like, his batting profile doesn't impress me too much. This guy I'd rather keep, Casey Schmidt. He did really well in Double-A. He'll probably have a spot or a shot to make the roster next year. So what I wound up doing was I added in, well, pretty much any of these guys, but I'd rather give up I feel like a minor league outfielder or something. How about one of these like spare part relievers? He had a really good year down in AAA though. He's also from UConn, so I'm biased. Let's see, who else do we have here? Plasmeyer. Oh yeah, this guy was horrible. I can't look at that 7.25 FIP. Ugh. Okay, so we get Joe Barlow in return. This guy's an anchor for the back of the bullpen. Had 41 saves last year. He's still making the minimum. I'm cool with this deal. So unless there's something else I can give up besides him, but okay, I guess they don't really want much in return at all. Okay, well, I guess I don't even have to give him up. But honestly, that feels a little cheesy to screw them like that. Because, like, Barlow has value. Maybe I'll give them, like, a... This guy's an interesting player. I'll give him something a little better than that. I like Sammy Long. Jelly. It's an interesting pitcher. Really good, really solid pitcher. But yeah, that's an interesting player for Joe Barlow, who has value. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna do that. They're rebuilding. That gives him some arms and something to work with in the future. So he'll slot into the back of the bullpen somewhere. Maybe a middle reliever. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. But okay, we'll be back with the next move. We do have news on our team, though. Carlos Rodon, we signed him to an extension. This could blow up in our face big time, but 5 years, $120 million. Opt out after the third year on the deal at age 32. It's possible this blows up and he gets hurt in his first year. It's never the same, but we need an ace. So he's our guy. He's really the only guy on the books long term. So yeah, we could look to clear up some more money by trading a guy like Tommy La Stella, But we'll continue to look as we continue in the offseason. But we'll be back. We're back. Free agency has just started. And, yeah, there's a lot to discuss here because I looked briefly at the international guys. And there is one guy in particular to hunt him down now. I could just do this. This guy right here, Ismael Corral. Really bad personality, but man, this guy's exactly what we need in this team. A right-handed slugger to play at DH, and there's a good chance we make a run at him because he only wants $6 million. But I'm looking at other places too for players here. So one of those would be shortstop. I know we have Brandon Crawford there, but Crawford could easily slide over to third or second, and we throw a star shortstop in there. Right now, we have no players on our team, so we got this guy, by the way. I didn't mention this, but we got Spencer Horwitz, who's a really solid player. Lefty bat, don't love that, but he really can't play the outfield either. Well, we flipped Aaron Brooks for him. So Aaron Brooks was out of options. I would have liked to keep him, but I can't have a guy like that sitting in my bullpen really all year. I can't send down. So those guys are replaceable. Number one spot I'm looking for agency is Carlos Correa. We have $43 million to spend. A lot of money for extensions, which is next year. And, I mean, there's no other really top guys here. I mean, Bogarts would be cool. I wouldn't mind Bogarts on the team, but if I'm spending $30 million, I want a shortstop. Joey Gallo, I definitely would not sign. We discussed Jose Abreu briefly as a free agent, but he's probably seen better days in the league. JD is still out here. I doubt he gets $26 million from anyone, so it's got to monitor as the offseason continues. Guy like Anthony Rizzo, maybe. AJ Pollock is a platoon guy with Lamont Wade. He does want a lot of money, but if his price goes down, and he got QA'd too. Looks like Belt did not accept the qualifying offer. That's good. I didn't even notice that. Didn't give me an update about that or anything. Oh, yes, they did. So, yeah. Also, I forgot to offer these guys arbitrations or contracts in arbitration, but it's fine. They sign anyway. So, a deal for Carlos Correa. What would this look like here? He wants 9 years. I'm cool going with 8. For a guy like this, freshly 28, he wants $38 million AAV. If we went to 30 mil, 8 years. We'll give you an opt-out after year. Let's see, that would be after his age 32 season. He can opt out, or he can continue the next 3 years. I'll keep that as a player option. That's fine. This is a lot of money being wrapped up in 2 guys, him and Rodon. Okay, so he doesn't even want that. So 9 years he wants. This is a ridiculous amount of money. I'd probably never offer this to someone normally, but we really need a star on this team. 9 years, $30 million a year. That's $270 million over 9 years. Compared to some of the deals that shortstops have gotten, that's not bad. I'll pay that for this guy. Yeah, all day. Sign me up. And he had a really good year last year. Led the league in WAR, quite frankly. Wow, that's interesting. So that may address the shortstop issue. We still have a lot of holes in this team, though. So looking at this, we have La Stella, who makes quite a bit of money. I would like to see what we can get for a prospect package for him. So salary dump, Will Robertson, not a horrible player, good minor league filler. And for Tommy La Stella, can I get any cash with this? That's the question. Let's try $5 million. Shit. So he doesn't look like they want to throw in any cash. They can get a little something. I get $100,000. Every little bit counts, right? So Tommy LaStella had a nice year, but he's replaceable. 33 years old, making $11 million for basically nothing. So let's clear that money off the books. We can allocate that elsewhere. So now we really just need players on this team. We've pretty much cleared out the entire roster. Oh, man. Sorry. So, what do we have? We need a shortstop. We need a second baseman. We need a first baseman. I may have cleared out this team a little too much, but we'll make it work. So, another trade here. So, I got an offer for Jaco Rizzi, who doesn't look like the most impressive pitcher here, but we need a fifth starter. He's going to be affordable because they're eating all the contract, and I'm giving up Sammy Long. So basically a nothing for Jaco Rizzi trade. So yeah, we're going to acquire Jaco Rizzi. Can I actually acquire some cash with this too? No way they do this. All right, so they'll actually throw in $1 million. Cool. So we get a free Jaco Rizzi basically, so that's good. I'll take that. Sammy Long, decent player, but not going to be in this future plans. So Odorizzi slots into that fifth spot for now because Cobb will be out for about half the season. We'll reassess when it gets to that. Oops. Oh yeah, we'll be back with the next update. So, as you can see, this offseason has taken a big turn. We signed Carlos Correa to a 9-year, $270 million deal. It's an arms race in the NL West because the Dodgers have gone absolutely mad. They signed Bogarts to a 4-year, $29 million deal, approximately, to be their third baseman, I guess. And they still have Trey Turner, so they somehow found the budget room to do all of this, as well as signing Joey Gallo to a 4-year, $29 million deal. So the Dodgers, after a disappointing year where they settled for the third wild card, they're coming back with a vengeance. Their rotation's pretty weak. Weak is very relative because this is still a very good rotation. But their lineup is absolutely stacked. Like, there's not a single, even average hitter in here. Bellinger had an awesome season. He'd probably be your weak guy. Or maybe Lux, but Lux still has potential. Wow. Just wow. I mean, I don't know how the hell we're going to beat this team. But we have Carlos Correa, so that's cool. I'm so excited to slot him into this team because he fills a major hole in, superstar talent. Because, we have a lot of nice players, but we don't have that superstar. So, literally I'm going to toss Correa right in there. He'll be at second. Most likely, I haven't made the official lineup yet, but this is what it looks like. I mean, this is not, a horrible team. These are all pretty solid players. We're still missing, a big bopper in the middle, I think. So we have a third base spot and the DH spot open right now. We don't have much internally at the moment. We have reinforcements coming, but they're not quite here yet. We still have $18 million. I've made a couple offers. One to Will Myers. He doesn't want too much money, and he hits lefties pretty well. I didn't really check his splits from last year. Oh, yeah, I mean, he's fine against lefties. This is my Lamont Wade platoon partner. Either a first base or a DH, depending on what happens. I'm cool with that. Also gave an offer, minor league offer to Austin Hedges, OOTP legend, and Jackie Bradley Jr., who's a really good defender. Minor league deal, no real risk. Also a minor league offer to this guy, Jung-Soo Im. Pretty decent bat, good defender, low like personality, bad personality, but that's fine. We're still waiting on Ismael Corral, who could be that big bopper in the middle of the order. And then this guy probably won't get. He wants more money, and whatever. I'm kind of out on him. So we'll continue to the next big signing. But yeah, Carlos Correa is a San Francisco Giant. Another really quick trade that I'm going to make. We have Santiago Espinal from the Blue Jays. I kind of like this batter profile for him. We need like a middle infield type who's like a good contact hitter, which Espinal kind of checks all those boxes. Tyler Fitzgerald's the guy we're giving up. I don't really value him too high. He's a second baseman at best, maybe not even. He had a really fantastic season in AAA this year. However, I don't see him as a future part of this team. He's 25 years old. So we're going to flip him for Espinal, who's 28, still under team control. The arbitration estimate is not too high. So let's do that trade. Espinal is... I usually don't make this many trades in the offseason. This is really weird, but this team needed a complete overhaul after everyone left. Yeah, Espinal is on the team, so let's go add him. Where he fits, not quite sure. He could be a utility guy, or he could be our starting third baseman or second baseman. Probably second baseman in this configuration, but yeah, I like that trade a lot for us. So this team's finally starting to come together a little bit. We still have a lot of moves to make, and we'll update after that. We are back, start of the preseason here, and this is what the team's looking like. We could do an offseason recap really quick, mostly because this offseason's almost done. Not quite. I mean, it's the preseason, so some of these guys might be cheaper. Muncy has not dropped his demands. Interesting. Bauer is still out for another year. There's actually... I want to get really cheeky. Try 2-year deal. Team option for the second. With a $1 million buyout. Mostly because, if you look at our salaries, Wood's off the books next year. Discalfani's off the books after next year. And Cobb is off the books after this year. I assume we won't pick up his option. So, a guy like Bauer, throw him a 2-year deal. Maybe he bites. This will be a team option worth, we'll give him a $2 million buyout. So he doesn't want to do a 2-year deal. That's fine. We could always sign him next year. Okay, so recapping the offseason here. For the most part, Contreras is available. It's an interesting player to go after, but right now, this is what we look like. So I signed Michael Conforto to a 1-year, $6 million deal. Didn't really have like a spot in mind for him, particularly on the field, but I think he's going to come in as my first baseman. His ratings will be fine over there. He's not going to be horrible. I would play Wade there, but I want to have Conforto in the field just because I'm paying him a lot of money, so he may as well play. Injury in the outfield, he'll slide to the outfield, but I'm going to try my first base. We'll see how it goes. If not, we'll move Wade over there. We did wind up signing Will Myers to a 1-year, $3 million deal. Nice player. He'll be like backup first baseman / platoon DH against lefties. Or first base, depending on what happens with Conforto over there. We got Espinal at second. Crawford going to slide over to third, I think, to start the year. I like Espinal better at second. Doesn't have quite the arm that Crawford does, so Crawford will play at third. We have Correa at short. And then we have Ramos in left. Hopefully he can continue his surgence and his ascendance onto the field. He did have a 4.13 BABIP last year, which makes me a little hesitant to run him out there. But we have Conforto as insurance in case that doesn't work out. We have Slater starting the year in center. Doesn't really have the range that I like in a center fielder, but he was fine when he played out there last year. He was a positive zone rating, so we'll sacrifice a little defense. Then we have Yastrzemski out in right, who had an excellent season last year. And then Lamont Wade will DH/first base with Will Myers. This will be like a weird threesome out there, I guess. We picked Gabriel Arias in the Rule 5 draft. I usually don't like to take guys who are really, really young, but Cleveland does have a lot of shortstops in their system, so I understand why they would be okay letting a guy like this go. He's going to be a really solid defender in the infield, so he'll be my backup infielder, most likely. Ivan Castillo will push him for that job, I know, but we'll see what happens with that. Jason Vossler also stays on the 40 as like a left-handed bat off the bench. Maybe something happens with one of these lefties, we throw Vossler in. And basically the same on the other side with Matheson. This actually wouldn't be a bad platoon if we decided to go that route, but we went with the safer option. We signed Conforto, so we'll see. We'll see how that works. But we signed Enrique Hernandez to be my backup outfielder. Don't love the range, but there wasn't really much out there for an affordable price, and Kike only wanted 1.5 mil. So we'll play with that. And then Luke Williams will stay on the 40. Nice utility guy to have on the 40-man roster. Spencer Horwitz, DH kind of outfield guy. Really good potential with the bat. He's 25. I hope he makes an impact in the majors this year. Other guy, and then we signed Austin Hedges as our backup catcher. Maybe starting catcher. I don't know what we're going to do with Joey Bart, but Hedges will at least be on this roster. We signed him to a minor league deal. I already called him up because I want him backing up before our couple guys get up here, Bailey and Auerbach. So in the rotation, we had an interesting development with Alex Cobb. So he was supposed to be back in June, if you remember. He had a weird thing where he was recovering well. So apparently he's going to be ready for opening day almost. I'll probably bring him up in mid-April, late April, early May. But yeah, that's huge. So Cobb will be on this team, I guess. So Odorizzi, he'll start the year in the rotation, but we'll have to monitor this and see what happens with these two guys. Besides that, we have Rodon. He's back on the big deal. Logan Webb, he's back, fully healthy. Still looks like his same self for the most part. I looked at extending him potentially into the future, but we can discuss that later. He's 26. He just did his first year of arbitration, so I think he has a couple years. He might have 2 years left, I think. Check that out really quick. So he's 2 years after this, but big prices. Maybe we go for some cost certainty there. I'm not quite sure what we do with that yet, but I would like to sign him long term because this is an arm that's a really solid number 2. Behind Rodon, that's a solid top of the league 1-2 punch there. Wood is back after an excellent season. He'll be our 3 starter. Tony Disco Tony. He'll be our 4 starter. He turned it on in the playoffs. Wasn't that good in the regular season. Pretty bad. But his FIP indicates that he's better than how he pitched, and his BABIP was pretty high. You see his R WAR and his WAR, which R WAR is results WAR, and then the WAR is based on his FIP, I guess so. So yeah, that's our starting 5 or 6, I guess. Jake McGee's back in the closer role to start the year. We picked up that team option, $4.5 million. We didn't make a huge move for a reliever, so he's gonna be our closer to start the year. Camilo Doval is back. You see that control dropped. A little concerned about that, but if he stays walking 4.5 batters, we can live with that. Tyler Rogers, pretty much the exact opposite of Camilo Doval. Great control, no stuff. So I like those guys as our setup guys yet again. So the back 3 are the same. We added Joe Barlow for pretty much nothing. The Rangers didn't value him very highly, so I went out and grabbed him. He has a couple years of control left, so we'll keep him on the team for definitely. So Steve O'Kurt, he came over, pitched pretty well in limited time with us. He'll be our lefty out of the pen. And then Zach Littell is back as well. He had an excellent season. Some guys who were on the 40, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 2 spots left in the bullpen. These 4 guys are front runners right now. I haven't added anyone else to the 40. Maybe we signed someone, another like solid arm to put out here. But Kervin Castro got a cup of coffee up here last year. Didn't do too much, but he's got the good ratings, so he's 24 years old. Gregory Santos, another guy who had a cup of coffee up. Going to be competing for that spot as well. JP Sears blew out his rotator cuff. He'll be back probably midway through April. He might be back for opening day, but I'm not going to rush him along. We have options. And then this guy, Norwith Godino. Sorry. Change him to a reliever. Yeah, another guy with high upside. So those are our top guys right now going into the year. We have a guy like RJ Dabovich. He'll push for a spot. I added Sam Delplane to the 40-man. I'm actually going to call him up. Then we have Ryan Murphy, who's going to push for a rotation spot at some point. He got a cup of coffee up in AAA. Another guy, Patrick Rotullo. I feel like we have a lot of these guys, like pretty decent stuff, movement control, and then 2 good pitches, 3 good pitches. Ryan Walker, ground baller, side armor. This could be like a Tyler Rogers replacement, potentially. Tanner Andrews, decent player. Glenn Otto, who we acquired in a trade. Again, the 3 good pitches. Pretty good stuff. He could push for a bullpen spot this year. Sorry, I'm a little tired recording this. Kyle Harrison. He got a little time in Double A last year. Pretty solid. They, for some reason, pushed him to 125 pitches in this last start, which still blows my mind because I have the limit at 85, I believe, or maybe 80 in Double A. But he might be ready middle of next year or end of next year, potentially. And then a couple nothing players, whatever. Our high A team isn't too strong, but we do have this guy, Nick Castellanos, who we picked up in the 17th round. He was an older player. I think he was 24 when we drafted him. He was really good in 3 levels, so look for him to maybe make an impact in the majors at some point. And then no one really else to speak of there. Too important. We have this guy, Rohan Handa, who jumped up to the number 28 prospect in baseball. I'm not as high on him as 28 in baseball, but he was pretty solid. He has the great ratings. Worst case, he'll be a fantastic reliever. But I'm going to try him out in the rotation. We'll see how he plays. He'll start the year in high A, I believe. No, he'll start the year in A. Yeah, he only pitched 31 innings. Mikulski. Another guy who's a pretty good arm. Had 18 starts down in single A. We'll probably call him up to start the year. I haven't really played around with this too much. Seth Lonsway was a beast in one of my other saves, so I just looked at him. And then, that's pretty much the hitters in our organization. Nothing crazy there. That's the pitchers. Oh, God. This is the pitchers in our organization. Wow, I'm tired. The hitters that could push for the 40-man. Our batch will definitely be up at some point this year. I don't know where he's going to play, but he's going to hit. I'm pretty sure. So he'll be up. Patrick Bailey, we're just waiting him out. That's why we signed Hedges. We're waiting on to see if Joey Barr can be a decent player. Bailey could definitely be my starting catcher come mid-season even. We signed Jackie Bradley Jr. I don't know if I mentioned this. Good outfield range. He'll be down in the minors, but he can push for a spot in the opening day roster potentially. Same thing with Jung-Soo Im. Similar player, good range, not a great hitter. We'll see. Hunter Bishop. Not sure how I like this player archetype, but he hit really well in AAA. He could definitely be an impact player this year. Besides that, I'm not sure there's anyone else who's going to push for 40-man spots. This guy actually added to my 40-man as well, I believe. Yeah, I did. Gamboa. I like his defense. It's solid. Can play the corner outfield spots. And just like a decent overall hitter. Nice guy to have in the system. I didn't want to lose him in the Rule 5. I doubt it would have, but may as well add people because we're only at 36 people right now. Yeah, so Gamboa is down here. Let's add him to the roster. So we're at 36. What else can we do? Oh, also Luis Matos. He's going to start the year in AAA. He could definitely make the opening day roster if things go well or if there's some injuries or something goes on. Waiver wire, nothing too crazy here. Also, free agents. I gave up on Coral. I don't know. I didn't like his output. I really don't need him. I know I probably could have signed him over Conforto, but I don't know. Something about this personality turned me off. I like how this team looks right now. Anyway, so it's probably not a good business decision, but I really just didn't want to sign him because of this. And he can't really play the field either, so he's stuck at DH. I don't know. Hopefully someone can back me up on that. Okay, so anyway, we're going to move on. We're going to sim up until spring training, I think, unless anything crazy happens. But we'll go up to spring training, then to opening day, and then we'll meet you guys back there, and then I'll wrap up the episode. So we'll be back. Final update here. I can imagine this video is getting pretty long at this point. I don't have an exact time, but whatever. Here's our opening day lineup. So we wound up signing Wilson Contreras. He was sitting out in the market. Doesn't have really the catcher ability that I usually like, but he actually has some pretty good defensive ratings, so I have an idea to kind of have him catch like 4 times a week and play other places the other, 2 days and then get a day off, whatever. So he's technically my starting catcher this year, but Joey Bart's going to play a ton. This is kind of how I have my depth charts lined up. Contreras will play once a week in left for Ramos, to start the year at least. And he'll play once a week at first for Conforto. Bart will play every 4th game at catcher. And we'll kind of fill in the spots here. Actually, I'm going to add in Contreras playing once a week at DH. We'll see how this plays. I'm not sure how the simulation will handle all of this nonsense going around with Contreras, but that's fine. So we had kind of had like one open spot on the roster that I kind of had a feeling was going to come down to a couple guys. Ivan Castillo wound up getting it. He had a fantastic spring training. He's actually going to open the year as my starting second baseman. It's between him and Espinal. Espinal had a really rough spring, so I'm going to use him as a utility guy. I kind of like him better in that role anyway. He has good defensive ratings. Can hit a little bit. And Castillo, I mean, he's much better second baseman than he is anywhere else. So I really like this. This lineup isn't like crazy, but I mean, at least we have some star power with Correa in there. And I don't know. We'll see how this works. I've never really had a team built like so like it's pretty underwhelming looking at it, but I think this is a pretty good, like pretty deep lineup here. So we go over to the pitching side of things. We have he should be up here. So Rodon's rating's already kind of dropped. I guess we'll deal with it. Opening day, we're going to have Rodon on the mound. Webb will start game 2. Wood, DeSclafani, and Alex Cobb is fully back. Well, he made 1 appearance in spring training. Got a little roughed up. I'm going to have him on like a strict pitch limit of like 80 pitches to start the year. Jake Odorizzi is going to be our long man. He has some experience out of the pen from last year, so he'll be our long man to start. If Cobb struggles or something happens with Cobb, Odorizzi will step right in. So that's a good guy to have. We have McGee, who had a really good spring, Duvall, who had a solid spring, and Tyler Rogers, who got a little roughed up in his last appearance. Besides that, was good. So our back 3, we have Barlow, O'Kurt, Sam Delaplane. I'm going to get him a face, because I like having these guys have faces. Not that one. Sure. Delaplane, I added to the 40 in the offseason. He had a really excellent spring, so I decided to make him the guy who got that last spot. And Zach Littell also in there. So this is the team going into the season. As you can see, we have $15 million. It's kind of on purpose. I didn't change my tickets yet, but I'll do that as soon as we get into the year. Look at our player development. I don't know how this happened or what I did, but I don't know what we were ranked last year going into the year either. I'm sure it's in the first video that I made, but we're ranked first overall for farm systems. I don't even know how this happened, really. Luciano, the 11th ranked prospect in baseball, has a bright future ahead, I hope. Didn't really have a great spring. I had him up, getting a little playing time. But these ratings will play, and then the defense will find somewhere to play him, basically. Rohan Handa also appeared in spring, was pretty good. He'll start the year in high A. Didn't really get too much time in single A, but his ratings are there. I think he can make it. Luis Matos had a really nice spring up with us. He's going to start the year in AAA as the 34th ranked prospect in baseball. Owen Murphy, this was a guy we took in the first round, 30th overall. He wasn't too impressive down in the rookie league, but I mean, he struck out 17 per 9, 20 innings, pretty good. He'll be in rookie ball again, but yeah, he's making a name for himself already, and he's actually not being used as a two-way player. I'm gonna change that really quick. I don't really know where he plays in the field, but I'll let the AI figure that out. Kyle Harrison, ratings dropped a little bit, but he was good when he was up in spring. He hopefully has a bright future. Number 45 prospect in baseball. Edgar Espinal, this was a scouting discovery. I didn't discover this guy. Number 48 prospect in baseball. He's still in the rookie complex. I'm gonna take it easy with him. But if these ratings come along a little bit while he's down there, I could probably be comfortable calling him up. Yeah, I'm very excited about him. That was a great find by our scout. And then Gabriel Gonzalez, who is the 80th ranked prospect. I think he was in the late 90s, I think, when we got him. He was 85, it looks like, possibly. Yeah, around 85. Yeah, this guy's pretty far along for a 19-year-old. He'll be in single A to start the year. I want to get him full season, so that wraps up the top 100. We have a bunch of guys in like the 100 to 200 range. I'll highlight a couple guys. Brian Ramos had an awesome spring for us when he was up. He's going to start the year in AAA, and he can definitely I could see him being like our starting first baseman by the end of the year. If things go a certain way. Casey Schmidt, another guy. He'll start the year in AA. Maybe AAA. Yeah, he'll be in AAA. I don't know why he's down there. I haven't really played around with that too much. Yeah, he's looking like a really nice player. He doesn't have the range to play third. I don't know what I'm going to do with him yet. Could be a corner guy. But yeah, we'll find somewhere for him. Brett Auerbach was one of the last guys cut. It was really hard leaving this 1,200 OPS in spring off my opening day roster, but I decided to go with Castillo. He had more versatility. Well, Auerbach has a lot of versatility, but he doesn't really play any position really well. So I went with Castillo. He's probably my first guy I called up. 24 years old. Awesome player. Very excited for him. Mikulski. He's number 138. Ortega, who was very good down in single A as a 19-year-old last year. He is ranked 144, and Patrick Bailey down in AAA. Had a rough spring. One of the reasons I signed Contreras, actually, was Patrick Bailey, giving him a little more time. So we'll see what happens with that, but yeah, very excited. Ryan Murphy also down here. I don't know how he's not a top 200 prospect, but he had a really awesome spring. So, yeah, that's about it. Anyone else to highlight? Hunter Bishop, another guy who had a really good spring. Guy who can make an appearance up in the majors. Brady Jones, our second-round pick. He's on the top 30. Really rough year last year, but hopefully he can bounce back. Also, this guy, Adrian Sagoski, another catching prospect we have. So really quick before I end this episode, I'm going to make one more roster change. So I went and, I don't know, we had too many outfielders in AAA, so I went to go to offer this guy, just see what I can get for him. I see Gavin Lux sitting here in AA for the Dodgers. They're the Dodgers roster, and yeah, they're stacked. They signed Wilmer Flores. There's no room for playing time, apparently, and for Gavin Lux, and guess he's been sentenced down to AA. So I'm gonna go rescue him. And this seems like yeah, in real life this seems like a horrible trade, but like if they don't believe in Gavin Lux, like I get it. Like, yeah, he hasn't been that great. And I can understand if they want to give up on him. I personally would not consider that, but I get the trade for them. They want someone controllable outfielder. So this switches up the team a little bit. Gavin Lux is gonna come in. He'll probably slide in as my starting second baseman. That means Castillo doesn't make the team, unfortunately. So that was all for nothing. But yeah, I don't think it's like unreasonable, like to rescue Gavin Lux from the Dodgers, who just like have unlimited amounts of money. So he's basically going to slot right in where Castillo was. He'll probably bat at the bottom of the order as well, because we have a couple like established guys. Maybe he'll probably bat ninth. Honestly, yeah, I like that for him. A little like prove it year. Boom. So yeah, that's the episode. We'll talk to you next time.